Yes, indeed. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Yours truly, Retro, in the building with you on this morning for a little bit of retro philosophy, real quick before we make some tracks. It is a beautiful day outside today, and if you are not giving God the praise, then man, we gotta have a talk. We gotta have a talk. Hit me up, inbox me, give me a call. We gotta have a talk because God is worthy to be praised. All right. But anyway, today is what it feels like Friday almost. Let's see, but today is actually Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday, and supposed to be high 60s on today. So we got to get outside and enjoy some of that. So I want to encourage you right now, instead of taking your lunch break inside, I mean, go outside and enjoy the sun. Because truth of the matter is, we're gonna have some rain come this weekend. And so, with that said and done, we've got to understand in life, you got your sunshine and your rain. And you know how it goes, man. You've got to learn to at least endure both. Maybe enjoy the sunshine, enjoy the sunshine, endure the rain. But sometimes the rain helps you to appreciate the sunshine a little bit more. And so sometimes in life we have good times and we have bad times. But you enjoy those good times, but you've got to learn to endure the bad times, because this is what I often say. I often say that it is the good times that are rewards for making it through the bad times. Yeah, don't get it twisted. True story. This is what my perspective, understanding, and conclusion is. All right, concerning this matter. For me, I've enjoyed the good times in life and I look forward to the good times in life. Don't get it twisted. But my life lessons, the lessons that I've learned and the things that I've been able to extract from life and carry over from, level to level, situation to situation, it's usually learned during the bad times. And so sometimes we've got to learn to stop calling it bad times, even though it might be bad. But again, remember yesterday we talked about what we talked about. You can change the narrative, and so if you always call it a bad time, you'll look at it as a bad time, you'll perceive it as a bad time, and you'll treat it like a bad time. But usually, bad times, quote unquote, are usually moments where you can really learn. Okay, and we understand that experience is not the best teacher all the time, but it is a dear teacher. So in other words, sometimes you should try to learn some things without having to experience, without having to go through it. Okay, so I found out that in life, for me, usually some of my lifelong lessons, the lessons that I've learned, those I've experienced it as I went through the bad times, and then it's only a matter of time till God rewards you with some good times, because it's a reward for making it through the bad times. I used to say it this way: if you're going through, that's not a bad thing. At least you're not stuck in the middle. If you're going through, then there is a level of progress or a level of progress in the process. Let's say it that way. Okay. So yes, you might be going through, but at least you are not stuck. You're going through, you're making progress. It might not be like your neighbor. And that's one of the problems. We often look at how someone else is matriculating or how someone else is going through what they're going through. But that's not really wisdom. The Bible says it this way. We always refer to the Bible, right? We always refer to the book. The Bible says those comparing themselves among themselves, it's not wise. It's not wisdom to compare yourself among yourselves. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. Look, can I take a sip of my OJ, y'all? Look how my thing is. Oh, that is so good, y'all. It's so refreshing. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. Oftentimes, I will look at those around me and I will see what lessons I can learn from them. I will look at those around me, and I will sometimes use them as a meter, if you will. Um, but it's not a comparison, because most of the times when you look at your brother or your sister, it's not apples to apples and oranges to oranges. It can't be, because we are completely unique. So the way Robert goes through and the way I go through is going to be slightly different. Now I can watch the pattern that Robert is following, and then what applies to my life or to my situation. Then hey, I'll use what I can use, and what I can't use, I won't use. But I can't use that as a definite. Example, if that makes sense. Now, I didn't hop on to talk about that, and I'm not going to be too long. I got a doctor's appointment I got to get to, make sure the old ticker's still ticking and the old knees are still bending and all that stuff. There's nothing wrong with my heart, but I'm just going for my yearly checkup and everything like that. So this is what I want to talk about real quick. We're going to hit it and we're going to quit it. They say you don't got to be long to be strong, right? You don't have to be like them. Like who? I don't know who the them is in your life, but you don't have to be like them. In other words, sometimes people will do certain things to you. Well, I shouldn't say certain things, but let's say it this way. Sometimes people will treat you a certain way, and some people will respond um, and the same way that they are treated, right? But usually, what that's considered to be is eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth. You kill my dog, I kill your cat. Sometimes when people are rude to you, you got to be nice to them. You've got to understand that the power lies within you. And I'm going to choose to refuse to allow the way you act reflect the way I act. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that, because the way you treat me, it will reflect the way I act, but I choose not to be like them. So if you're gonna be nasty to me, I'm gonna be kind to you. To an extent. To an extent. I'll keep it real. My mama used to tell me when I was a kid, sometimes you gotta kill them with kindness. And so I just want you to understand, wonderful people who have pressed play. Thank you so much for joining us on today, and welcome to the show, Retro Philosophy. And this is my philosophy. You don't have to be like them. Here we are in Black History Month, and it's coming to a close in a few more days. But historically, we as a people have gone through a lot of hell, mistreatment, and the list goes on and on and on, right? But yet and still, for the most part, we are more loving, more kind than the way we were treated. That's my opinion. I know we got some Ray Rays and some Leroys and some Shaniquas and it's just that might not be the case. But for this little Negro right here, this little young man right here, I refuse to be like them. And when I say them, I'm not talking about necessarily the white man. I'm not necessarily talking about the black man. I'm just talking about people, because I'm at a point now where um, I'm not going to say I don't see color, because I see color. It's the first thing I see. When I see you, the first thing I'm going to see is your color, your complexion, your shape, your hairstyle. The first thing I'm going to see are your physical features, and your color happens to be one. Let's just stop lying. I can't stand when folks say I don't see color when I see you. When you see me, you see a black man. Whether you call me charcoal or caramel, or my wife call her little caramel, but what the first thing you see is the color and the complexion. I see a white dude. He's a white dude. Now, I don't judge him based on his color, but the reality is, when you see someone of a different color, of a different race, um, you see that. And I don't think that we can sit here and fool ourselves and say we don't see that. But anyway, when I say them, I don't have to be like them. I'm not necessarily talking about someone of a different race or anything like that. I'm just talking about people in general, because we're in a time now where God Almighty, man, people are just wow. That's another reason why I think that we're living in the last days. But anyway, you don't have to be like them, folks. Just because they were nasty to you doesn't mean you have to be nasty to them. Um, Now, you can choose to limit your exposure to those people, and quite frankly, I think we should. When people are nasty and negative, for me, I'm not going to want to have a whole lot of dealings with them. I'm not going to want to have. I'm not going to want to have to spend a lot of time in their presence, because sometimes they can wear on you and wear on you and wear on you, and before you know it, you got your hands on somebody's esophagus, and and so we don't want that. We don't want that. So we try to stay away from situations that could push us beyond the limit. Can I be real for a minute? I don't care how saved, sanctified you are. I don't care how disciplined you are. Um, don't act like And don't fool yourself into thinking that you can't be pushed to the limit. I believe every individual can be pushed to a limit. Now, to push someone to the limit could be extremely dangerous for you, for them, and for everybody in the room. And so I'm not the kind of dude that wants to push anybody's limits. I'm the encourager. I'm the nice guy. I'm the one that's wants to make sure everybody's smiling and happy. And um, now yesterday I literally had to take my own advice. So let me say this: be very careful what kind of words you put out there, what kind of advice you put out into the air, because you might have to be the same partaker of that advice. And so yesterday I had to change the narrative yesterday, man. I had to change the narrative late in the evening yesterday, late in the afternoon yesterday. The day just kind of took a turn, and it seemed like it wanted to take a life of its own. And it was kind of weird, but emotions are real, and sometimes they will jump out of nowhere, and sometimes they can be triggered, and you don't even really know why. And yesterday it almost became a pretty challenging day. So what I ended up doing was I took the long road home. I was on my bike yesterday for a little while. I just turned some turns and rode some curves and just turned down some roads I've never been down before, and found myself here, there, and everywhere. And by the time I got back home, it was kind of lifted. I felt a little bit better. So I had to change the narrative. So I don't know if yesterday's show was good for you, but it turned out to be good for me because I had to think about that show later on in the day, my own self. So you don't have to be like them. Please understand that you do not have to be like them. Um, so often um, we become the very thing we despise. Case in point, sometimes you have individuals that grow up in homes where there's violence, whether it's the father abusing the mother or the mother abusing the father. Yeah, I paused for a moment there because y'all act like in these homes across America, it's only the father doing the abusing. Well, in some homes, you got the mother, the woman that's doing the abusing. Oh yeah, don't get it twisted. I've seen some of it. Yeah, that dude got dragged by that woman. I mean, she whooped his behind. And so, what's my point? My point is sometimes we become the very thing we despise. You grew up in a household and you see all of that, or maybe you grew up in a household where one of the parents were. Or siblings maybe was an alcoholic, and you say it pretty much tore at the fabric of your family and you despised it, but yet and still at the same time somehow you slipped into that same addiction. We do not become the very thing that we despise. Mr. Jiggets is in the building. How you doing, sir? God bless you and heaven smile on you. Mr. Jiggets, we are talking about the very fact that we do not have to be like them. And sometimes the very thing we despise is the thing that we sometimes slip into or become. Maybe you were bullied in school, and you finally got to a place where you got tired of it in junior high school. So over the summer, as you transitioned from junior high school to high school, you lifted a few weights and everything. And by the time you got to high school, you became the high school bully, which was the very thing you despised in junior high school. Just using that as an example, hypothetically speaking. And so we've got to be careful that we don't allow what was put on us get in us and then becomes us. They say it's not. See, here's the deal. A boat is made to navigate on the waters, and that boat can be on the water all day long. And it's going to float, it's going to bounce, it's going, but if that water gets inside, that's when that boat begins to sink. And so we can be in situations and in circumstances, and we can be around things, and that's one thing. But when that which is around us gets in us, that's when we begin to sink and go down. So we've got to understand sometimes we've got to put a limit to what's around us. And how do you put a limit to what's around you? Well, the easiest way is to stop going where that stuff is. And so maybe you didn't go there; it came to you. Well, there are still some ways where you can put a limit to it. And number one, you can set safe boundaries. Yeah, and here's what I found out about boundaries: they work best in the beginning. In other words, as soon as you see the foolishness, hold up, bro. Hold on, sis. That might be what you do, bro, but I don't play those kind of games. I ain't trying to, but I just don't rock like that, brother. I'm just letting you know, man. If that's what you want to do, I mean, you do you, but I don't do that stuff. So if you don't mind, just move that down a little bit or whatever, or don't bring that back here. I ain't trying to be disrespectful or nothing, but I just, and so, oh, okay, bro, I'm my bad. I didn't know. I misunderstood. I thought this is, and they move on. But if you let them do it one time, two time, three time, and then finally you get to the point where you're like, well, maybe I should, and now you try to set some boundaries. Well, they got their stuff all up in your space. Now let's try to put them boundaries in. It's going, be a little different. So boundaries work best when you set them right off the front. Mm-hmm. Right off the front. I think the reason why some people don't set boundaries initially is because sometimes they either benefit from some of the stuff that's going on, they enjoy some of the stuff that's going on, they're curious about some of the stuff that's going on, or one of those kind of reasons. And so they kind of allow that stuff to bleed over a little bit. And then when they find out that it's so, detrimental to them, or now it's causing problems, then they want to set boundaries up, and it's kind of, it becomes more difficult at that point. Let's see. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Mr. Wilson, thank you for joining, and thank you for pressing play. Boundaries work best when established in the beginning. I did a business venture one time, and I was talking to an individual, and I said, okay, so we gotta get an understanding about this. They say, well, we ain't even making no money yet. Why are you even going there? I was like, because if we don't set it up, if we don't put it in place now, when the money does start rolling the way we anticipate it to roll, then it's going to be a problem, because there's going to be no definition. There's going to be no agreement. There's no, there's no fine line, if you will, or whatever. And so it's, and sometimes you be like, well, you got all these rules and it's just the two of us. You got all these rules and it's just the three of us. Yeah, because I don't expect it to stay the two of us. I don't expect it to stay the three of us. I'm anticipating, watch this now, I'm anticipating the growth. See, it's a difference between expecting and anticipating. All right. When you expect the growth, you're saying, well, one day we might grow. That's good. Yeah, one day we might grow. We might grow. We might grow one day, but when you anticipate the growth, that means not only are you expecting it, but you're putting things in place for what you expect. You're preparing for what you expect, not just saying, well, one day to be here. Well, what if it shows up and it's greater than what you expected, and you're not ready? And my Kevin Hart verse, I wasn't ready. Bad experience. But so we've got to not just expect things, but we should anticipate what we expect. And if we anticipate what we expect, then we will move to preparation for what we are expecting. Okay, so God bless you. Heaven smile on you. Again, thank you, beautiful folks, for pressing play. It's your boy Retro with you on this morning for a little retro philosophy. And so we've got to set boundaries, because they're healthy boundaries. See, when you set boundaries and someone goes over those boundaries, or someone, violates those boundaries, you're not the bad guy when you say, hold up, Negro, hold on now, and then because that was already established and you already knew, right? And so now you got every right to smack it in their face. I'm not saying smack them in their face, but you can, bam, there it is right there. See that right there? That's a boundary, brother. That's a boundary, sis. And you crossed it, And the first time it's a reminder. The second time there might be some furniture moving around up in this piece, I ain't moving nobody's furniture around. I'm just messing with y'all. But yeah, and so we don't have to be like them. And so we set boundaries, because if we don't want to be like them, then we got to let them know, hitherto and no further. That's my King James Version talk, y'all. I've been in the church too long, right? Hitherto and no further. But that's how you got to tell folk, man. And you got to love them at the same time. You know what I mean? And here's what I found out: people will respect that. They may not like it, but they'll respect it. because number one, they see you got your stuff together. Number two, they see you mean business. Number three, they know you ain't playing. Number four, they know you ain't backing down. Number five, they know you real. Come on, somebody. Number six, they know they got to do what they got to do, and just fall in line, and number seven, secretly they saying to themselves, that's what I'm talking about right there. I'd go into details and tell you guys a story about this dude that I knew that did certain things, and I mean, dude was, and I didn't call him on the carpet, but a situation happened, and I was like, "Yo, dude, number one, I had a boundary was crossed, and I let him know it. I wasn't disrespectful. I wasn't mean. I wasn't like, yo, man, no, hey, bro, this my boundary right here. You know what I'm saying? This boundary is here for a reason. You just crossed it. You know what I'm saying? And he kind of looked at me and he just started laughing. And he said, I like you, bro. And he went on and he fell in line. He fell in line. I mean, dude was a lot older than me. He was definitely a lot better than me. He was known for a lot of things that I wasn't known for. But there was a boundary that was set. There was a boundary that was crossed, and the crossing that boundary was made aware. And so he understood that it was important to me. He understood that I was respectful and bringing the situation to his attention. And I think secretly he was probably saying to himself, I like you, kid, because that's the same thing I would have done. I like you, kid. You got heart. You know what I'm saying? And so setting boundaries does not mean that you're scared. It doesn't mean that you're weak. It just means that you marking your territory. It just means that, you letting the rules be known. I don't even know how we ended up here, but I tell you one thing, we don't have to be like them. Okay, I'll continue with that same example. This dude was a known killer. He was a stone cold killer, right? But I didn't have to be like him to gain his respect. I maintained the integrity of who I was and still gained his respect. So we don't have to be like them, and we can still win them. Yeah, people can be mean and nasty to you. You don't have to respond in like manner to win them. You can be nice. I can't tell you the amount of times. Hey, cuz, how you doing? Michelle, God bless you. Thank you for pressing play. Good to see you. I need to get up your way sometimes. As a matter of fact, I was up that way not too long ago, but it's always good to get back to what I call the Mecca of the McKeefers. So I'll be hollering at you soon, cuz. I'll be hollering at you soon. Real talk. But you don't have to be like them, and you can still win them. And therein lies a problem. We kind of touched on this Monday night as we were talking motorcycle ministry, which we will pick up that conversation with another group of people on this coming Monday at, oh my God, some track at 8 p.m. So make sure you tune in for that. But you don't have to be like them. You can maintain the integrity of who you are, and you can still win them. Okay, because everybody likes stuff that's real. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You don't believe me? You go and give my cousin Michelle Best there. You go and give her a fake Fendi pocketbook or a fake this ain't real. Better yet, I saw this video where this dude was in the mall. And he was going up to people that was iced out with a diamond thing, and he was checking it. Well, on one video, he was at I think he was at school, and the teacher's like, oh yeah, this real. I got this for my anniversary, 50-year anniversary or something like that. And she said, yeah, you can test it. They real. They all real. He tested that thing. That thing was fake. What? Oh man, she was hot about that. She thought it was real. Ended up it was fake. She called her husband on the phone ASAP. Boy, she was digging into that joker, man. And so people like things that are real. A woman, in my opinion, would probably more appreciate a small diamond that's real than a big diamond that's fake. Yep. On that note, we don't have to be like them. Don't let the water on the outside get on the inside and cause your vessel to sink. Don't let the bad vibes, the bad juju, the bad sin, the bad this, the bad that's happening around you get inside of you. I can't tell you the amount of folk I know that grew up in the ghetto, but yet still they didn't let it get in them. They got out of the ghetto and the ghetto didn't get in them. They became, and I'm not talking bad about the ghetto, because probably all of us grew up in the ghetto, myself included. And I wouldn't change it for all the tea in China, because it has shaped who I am in so many ways. There are so many life lessons that I got as I grew up, that I wouldn't trade, or wouldn't reverse time for it. But my point is, a lot of stuff happened around us, and we didn't let it get in us to ruin us. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's it, folks. Thank you for pressing play. I gotta make some tracks, get down here to the see my doctor, and I don't need no more speeding tickets. So I'm gonna be taking it real slow, taking it easy. I'm gonna be cruising. And I found out that when you go slower on that motorcycle, it prolongs the gas. So, again, that was another way to change the narrative. Y'all be blessed, man. Enjoy this beautiful sunshine today. Don't let someone who's nasty and negative affect you negatively, because you don't have to be like them. Don't respond the way they acted towards you, but respond with a heart of kindness, integrity, and let me just, can I say it this way? Can I say it this way? And just don't let them cause you to be ignorant. Don't let them cause you to be ignorant. You don't got to be screaming and loud and cussing and fussing. You can respond in a way that's, that ain't, okay. All right, guys, y'all have a good one. Make sure you press play on tomorrow. I got to get a hat and a t-shirt that says #press play. We out of here, y'all. Until next time, y'all be good, and may God